And welcome in to a new week, Monday, February 10th. This is going to be a kind of a significant week. Have you been noticing just little things with your technology yet? See, Mercury is not retrograde, but it's in what they call the shadow period, so it's slowing down. And we'll talk more about that even as the week goes on, especially next weekend as Mercury turns retrograde officially on the 16th. The dates on that, if you would like to edge them into your mind, will be February 16th, 12 degrees Pisces, and Mercury is going to tip back into Aquarius because it turns direct on March 9th at 28 degrees Aquarius. But yeah, I just have been observing, and I'm like, things that hadn't been happening kind of start happening again. So that's one of the big themes of the week is Mercury progressively moving its way more toward retrograde on next Sunday. Now, there's a really interesting and subtle, and for you early bird listeners, you get the worm on this one, because there's a Grand Trine with the moon, which now is in Virgo, moved into Virgo last night. So there's a Grand Trine with the moon in Virgo, Uranus in Taurus, and now I'm going to stretch a little bit here. So we have three things at play. You can take this for what you want. This one's just a little bit dicey, but in Capricorn, okay, the closest of the Grand Trine aspects is with the South Node. But I'm going to go out on the limb here and catch everything here. And the optimum time on this Grand Trine is going to be right around 10 o'clock Eastern U.S. time, because the Midheaven moves into Capricorn and is within the aspect of the moon. It's wide. I'm going to admit it's wide. But when you have now this is kind of like what we had the other day when I said send your resume. I think that was on Saturday. This could be a follow-up to that. Maybe Moon in Virgo, there's the whole work connection, and there's Capricorn of solid foundations and doing a really good job. And also the South Node, and here's the other one, and again, this is wide, interpret it how you will, but Jupiter is sitting there at 15 degrees, and at this particular optimum spot that I'm talking about of around 10 o'clock Eastern Time, the moon is 6 degrees away from Jupiter. If you call that an orb, then you got it. My little software says yes, so there you go. It's designed by some of the best. So what I would suggest is if you are looking for something work-related, career-related, if there is anything career-related you need to do, this would be a really good time to do it. Send an email, make a phone call, flush out a resume, put an application online if you are searching for a job. Do all of the things. Think of your mind spinning around whatever you would do career-wise. This would be a really good time to do it. And it's a really narrow window because, and I'm not going to get into the path of the Midheaven, but the Midheaven moves through the day really, really fast. So this only just bumps in and bumps out for a wee little bit on the Midheaven piece. Now, the Jupiter, Moon, Uranus piece goes until about noon Eastern Time. So if we take Uranus, Moon, Jupiter, South Node, that is from the time this podcast is released in the morning up until about noon Eastern, that is in play. After that, the moon has moved too far off. It loses its coupling with Uranus, and that breaks the Grand Trine. Now, there are some other aspects. I mean, this moon is throwing off mega aspects today. So the ones that stay with us, okay, trine to the South Node, trine to Jupiter, semi-square to Saturn and Pluto, opposite Mercury and opposite Neptune. Wow. I mean, we don't have time to go into all of that. Mega energy. I mean, there could be all kinds of tripwires off of this today. Let's go through and we'll just kind of highlight each one quickly. And I'm going to start and move clockwise. So let's start up there with Neptune in Pisces opposite the moon. So that's going to be in play more in the afternoon and evening hours because the moon moves into a better opposition position there. So if you have a great idea this afternoon, run it by 3 people before you do it. Let's put it that way. See, your Virgo moon, though, and that Piscean etherealism, those are going to battle against each other. Virgo is so practical, and Pisces is so ethereal that, yeah, if you get this great, dreamy idea about how you can just totally reorganize your department, yeah, just hold off until Tuesday. Mercury, opposite the moon, same thing. Bite thy tongue this afternoon would be best. And oh, no, that's all day. That would be this morning, because that kind of straddles on both sides. That aspect is there all day. Bite thy tongue. Now we've got the semi-square to Saturn and Pluto. Have you been listening to this podcast for some length of time? Keep your journal handy, and if a layer of your onion starts to peel, capture it and ask for benefic gentleness along the way. I encountered a very substantial onion peel this, 'cause it's been there for a while, but it really started to come up this weekend, and I've just been with it. It has been very benefic and very open and working through. And I think that's the best outcome. When these things come up, be alert and awake. See, I wake up every day under the guise that this is the most transformative energy in multi-hundreds of years, to do incredibly deep soul work, to shed my soul from any kind of residual stuff that is there that can be purged under this energy. Exposed, dealt with, purged, and removed, so that I can move on in like just a completely different soul structure from here. And I look for it, and it shows up, I will tell you. And then the trine with Jupiter and the South Node. Well, I'm going to expect, even in my little issue that I'm working through, I'm going to expect some really good revelations around that today. That's how I would play that trine. So if you get the issue under the semi-square to Saturn and Pluto, you get your answers under the Jupiter South Node trine the moon. This little moon right now is a trigger, so just be careful. You know, I think that would be the carry away for today, trigger, the word trigger. Whose horse was named Trigger? Back in the old westerns. I'll have to look that up. Google is your friend. All right, have a great day. I will see you tomorrow. Yeah, watch the moon today. Big, big, big.